Jim Ross's take on it, and I generally do like where Jim Ross is coming from most of the time. So I
Hmm.
decided to give it another look, give it another chance, because he basically said you don't know what he's capable of until they really push him. And that's a fair point. Over the weeks, like he hasn't really gotten better. The Bollywood boys aren't really interesting right now, at least not with him. It's just, and even if he was, the crowd is just not into it. They don't care about Jinder Mahal, or even worse, they actively don't want it. So, I mean, I guess it'd be one. I can't believe I'm going to say this. It'd be one thing if they were pushing Roman Reigns in lieu of what the crowd wants. They've been doing that for a while now, and you can at least you can eye a Roman Reigns match, especially his good matches, and go, yeah, I get why they'd pick him. Jinder Mahal, I'm sorry, this is going to sound so terrible, and I do not mean it that way, but you can fucking tell that the only reason they're pushing him is because of the recent dealings with India.
And that's not really in any offense whatsoever. That's the
Yeah.
truth. And not only that, I can't remember who said it, but during the WWE's quarter one conference call, somebody legit said, basically, yeah, that's why he's getting a push, is because we're manufacturing these talks and this partnership with India. And we're kind of raising awareness, more in India for the product. And that's why it's getting the
No,
push.
and that's fine. I get it. I mean, wrestling does have a foothold in India. They've got a Ring Ka King, which is apparently a very. I've never watched anything from them, even when they had their partnership going with TNA. But from what I've heard, it's a very good promotion, very respectable. They got a pretty decent sized lineage. My question is, are you really expecting me to believe that in all of Indian maybe independent wrestling, in all of Ring Ka King, in all of North America, there are no other Indian wrestlers, whether of Indian heritage or Indian born, that you could bring into the company and push and do stuff with other than the Bollywood boys and Jinder Mahal? Are you fucking shitting me?
Yeah,
Really? I mean,
that's it's
it'd be like
unfortunate.
that'd be like expecting me to believe that Ho Ho Loon is the only even halfway decent wrestler in China. That's bullshit. And I get it. I get it. Those three are probably the only three Indian guys they got in the company, and I understand. My response to that is again, you've been just dredging everyone you can out of the indies. You have these talks going on with India. They have Ring Ka King. Are you going to tell me you couldn't pick somebody? Bring him in. Hell, new blood. Imagine some new up and coming guy from this other promotion, another country altogether, coming in and shit stomping Randy Orton. The sheer shock of it would oversee anything else, and it would. I mean, imagine that. Not only imagine if they gotten someone from Ring Ka King, then it wouldn't just be, hey, we're not just eyeballing the Indian market, we're giving someone from the Indian market a shot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Jim Ross, I gave it a shot, man.
yeah. So final thoughts here. Shout out to our good friend Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret. Who wore it better this week, Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live?
Oh my God, if you want to go in terms of the long term, SmackDown's been the better show pretty consistently for the past few months. So I would definitely say they're winning the war, but this battle in particular, whoo, damn, this God, I'd have more faith in a Mascarita Sagrada versus Mil Muertes win. Jesus, this was a slaughter. I'm sorry. SmackDown, I know I said it didn't suck at the top, but I'm willing to say it. This was a crap episode. Raw actually did pretty damn well for themselves, like B plus, A minus, maybe even. This was like at best a C minus. This was clearly them not trying, and fuck did it show.
And final thought here. I get the recap from Adam Silverstein of CBSSports.com. And he wrote a little blurb before the results today. And I'll read this to close out the show. He said, "If you did not watch SmackDown on Tuesday and have come here to read about the show, consider yourself lucky because it was a completely worthless 2 hours filled with barely any storyline development and little in the way of entertainment. In fact, you could have skipped WWE's primary television programs this week and have been no worse off as a fan because the company once again decided to mail it in while overseas at the O2 Arena."
I disagree with that for Raw. I think Raw actually did a pretty good job, especially in the first half of the show. And I know that's pretty typical. Maybe they were phoning it in because when you actually look at Raw, there wasn't a whole lot of storyline development. If there was, it was pretty much just the next logical step for each story. But sometimes a placeholder is fine, and a placeholder can be done well. If they just want to take this opportunity to expose, the UK fans to the current WWE product, fine, do a placeholder show. But placeholder doesn't mean bad. It just means that you don't necessarily progress. I mean, fuck, you can still have good matches and cool character moments. Make them. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but to be honest, they made it work on Raw quite a bit this Monday. It's a danger, but maybe go for a funny show.
Yeah, I'll admit that the Miz and the Ambrose, beginning portion was pretty funny. I'm general manager. Well, Stephanie McMahon said I'm going to be co-general manager, so we're going to do all this fun stuff and things like that. Yeah, kind of have a throwaway show of matches that people have never seen, but it seems interesting to them.
Yeah. That way you're completely covering for the fact that there's no storyline development because you're doing something new and different. And it makes the fact that you're going overseas feel kind of like a special occasion, like you're taking a little bit of a break to showcase them specifically what you are and what you're capable of. Raw, I honestly feel, for better or for worse, because there were stumbling points, did that. I'm willing to be very kind to Raw this week. SmackDown, they did not give a shit. This was boilerplate all the way.
I agree. So next week it'll be in New Hampshire, back in the States for Raw and SmackDown. So hopefully they don't phone it in. We're 12 days away from Backlash. So if there's going to be some interesting stuff on that card, they need to make it happen pretty damn quick.
Yeah. And even then...
Yeah, so that's going to do it here for SmackTalk here on the Elite Ringside Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Spencer Hart ERN, and you can follow Max at Agent Cooper 1989. You can follow all the happenings going on with the Elite Ringside Network going on this week on our Facebook page, Elite Ringside Network. That's facebook.com, ER Network 247. So for Max Beatty and for the rest of everybody at the Elite Ringside Network, I'm the Elite Ringside Network Heavyweight Champion, Spencer Hart, saying, have a good one.
Peace.